So now let's move to the token trackers in the token section. Now the token transfers basically displays you the list of all the transfers that have taken so far on the network. Now you can see the complete list where you can see the transaction hash, right? Which contains that the token was being transferred to this specific hash. Then we have the method of what type of transfer was which taken place. So this was a simple transfer. Then we have the block which confirmed the transaction. We have the age section, which displays when the transaction was being confirmed of the token transfer. Then we have the from and the true address, basically the sender and the receiver's addresses. Then we have the amount which was being transferred and the total fee it contained. Now let's go to the detailed page of the token transfer where you can see the transaction hash which confirmed it. In the transaction detail page, you can see the overview section where you can see the block number where the transaction was being confirmed, the status. Along with we have the timestamp, the sender and the receiver's address, the value it hold, and the uh, internal transfers whether it taken place. So in the all transfer you can say this was the from address, the senders, and this was the recipient along with the quantity. Now in the net transfer section you can see a detailed breakdown of the transaction where you can see the from address and the amount that was being sent, the quantity. This was the recipient address who received the specific amount on their address. Now this is a transfer fee in order to do the transaction. The gas fee it include and the gas used. We have the input data for the same in the hex and the text forms. Now my overview section basically of the token transfer displays a comprehensive information about the specific transaction involving basically the token transfer. You can see that all these are the details. Now let's move to the log state. Now the log state in my token transfer section basically displays all the logs that records the events emitted by the contract during the transaction, which provides you a structured information about the transactions. These logs basically contains the details such as the events, the raw method name, topics, or the event that have taken by these various parameters that contains the sender, receiver, and the amounts as well. Now let's move to the state page, state tab of this specific token transfer, which states the current condition or the state of the account or a process where the token was being initiated, whether it was initialized or not, right? Where you can see the addresses, what was the before amount and the true amount, and the state difference within them. Now let's move to the stats and chart part. Now, the stats in the chart in the BlockDAI Explorer displays you how the network operates. They help you to track things like how many new accounts are being made, right? How many transactions have happened, or how many tokens have been transferred from one address to the another, how many smart contracts have been deployed, right? So, in the overview stats, you would be able to get where the network details for the matrix of the BlockDAI network, which provides you a snapshot of the activity like the addresses, transactions, tokens, gas used so far. You can see we have multiple tabs. If will display you the detail of the total address, right? The address is total displays the. Now let me click on it. Now it displays the cumulative number of unique wallet addresses or accounts created on the BlockDAI network. It helps you to see the overall growth and adoption of the network over the time. This will take a couple of minutes to load the chart. Now in the stats and chart, in the overview section, you can see The next tile we have is the transactions total. So this tile basically contains the total number of transactions that are being processed on the BlockDAG network since its launch, including the transactions per second rate. It gives an idea of the network long-term activity and the throughput. Then we have the new addresses which are being created in the last 24 hours with the percentage. It highlights the daily user growth and can indicate the interest in the projects or the event. Then we have the transactions that have been processed in the past 24 hours. It helps users to view the short-term network usage, and it can also help them to detect the network activity spike. Then we have the tokens total that are being in number that are being created on the blockchain network. It reflects the diversity and how many tokens are being deployed on our ecosystem. Then we have the pending transactions in the last 24 hours, right? The count of it. Since you can see we do not have any pending transactions. Then we have the total transaction fee. Now, the total transaction fees basically is the sum up of the total fee being paid for transactions in the last 24 hours by the users, which is being calculated in USD and VTAG coins. It provides insights into the network ecosystem and activity. Then we have the average transaction fee. Basically the average cost per transaction that was being displayed for the past 24 hours, right? It helps the end users to decide if they want it's a good time to do a transaction or it's going to cost them much more network fee for it. Then we have the how many total contracts are being deployed on our chain irrespective of the type. Then we have how many contracts have been verified so far on our network or chain. Then we have the contracts that are being verified in the past 24 hours on our chain. Then we have the count of contracts that are being deployed on a chain for the past 24 hours. Then we have the total gas used. So the total gas used in the past 24 hours displays how many gas was being consumed for each transaction, right? Gives a sense of network efficiency, right? And the utilization. Then we have the network utilization, which displays the network capacity that was being used in the past 24 hours. It helps you to access how efficient the blockchain network is for handling its load over the when there are too many transactions or in a row. Now, this is all we had from the oversight part. Now, let's move to the blockchain data. Now, the blockchain data section gives you an overview of how the block network matrices over the time look like, right? What the daily transaction chart holds, right? It basically displays the total number of transactions processed on the BlockTech network each day. It helps you to see the daily activity, the hikes on the measure time on during the major events like price movements or compare the current performance activities with the past. Then we have the ERC daily token transfer chart, which displays the and helps you to track the number of ERC 20 token transfers happening on the chain. It highlights how the tokens are being moved, right? Then we have the average gas price, which shows the average transaction fee, basically the gas price in BTAC paid over the time. It helps users to predict when transactions cost might be higher, especially during high demand of transactions. Then we have the average block time. Now, the average block time chart displays the average time it takes for the BleedTag network to produce a block. It gives the insights into how fast the network is in confirming the transaction or any sudden delay that takes place. Then we have the average block size chart, which displays the average size of blocks in bytes created on the network. Larger block size usually means more transactions are, or complex data is being included, which reflects how efficient the network is being used. Then we have the gas limit. The gas limit chart basically sets the limit for the per block in the chain. Now, the gas limit defines how much computation can be handled in a single block. It reflects the network's ability to manage the heavy loads. Then we have the average transaction fee. Now this shows the BDAC being paid, the fee being paid in BDAC over the time. It helps users understand the cost parameters, right? Then we have the unique chart. Now the unique chart address displays the total number of unique wallet addresses on the tab. It indicates how many new users have joined, right? Then we have the daily gas used. Now this chart shows how much gas is being used by all transactions each day on the BlockDeck network. It gives you a clear picture of the network usage and efficiency. Then we have the daily activity ERC20 chart, which displays how many unique addresses are interacting with ERC20 tokens on a daily basis through transaction, through transfer, or any other action, right? Now, this is all we had from the chain data side. Now, let's move to the contract data, where in the contract data section, it highlights the smart contract activity that have been taking place on the network. These focuses on how many transactions or contracts are being verified and deployed on our network. Now, the daily deployed contract chart shows how many new contracts are being deployed on our chain, right? Now, the daily verified contracts chart displayed how many contracts that are being matched and the source code has been verified, right, on our chain. Now, let's move to the network data. Now, the network data stats and charts section basically showcases you how the core operation health of the network is. These charts and trackers displays the matters like, the network utilization, pending transactions, network fee, right? Now, the network utilization chart basically displays or showcases you the percentage of block gas limit being used over the time. It reflects how much of the network capacity is being consumed, helping you to spot whether the system is running smoothly or it's reaching near congestion. Then we have pending transaction chart, which basically displays how many transactions are being in the waiting state in the man pool at different times. It helps you to see whether the network congestion is high or low, right? So for now, we do not have any pending transactions. Then we have the network transaction fee chart, which basically helps you to track the total and average transaction fee, right? In BDAC collection over the period of time selected. It highlights the activity of the network as well as the fee pattern and how many transactions have taken place so far via this uh, fee chart. Then we have the node tracker, which helps you to monitor the activity of the nodes worldwide, right? Depending upon the counts and the nodes being deployed on a chain. Now let's move to the node visualizer section. Now this basically provides you a real-time insights into the BTAC operational status and performance. It displays the key metrics such as the best blocks. You can see, right? The finalized block, basically uh, the latest block that has been confirmed and finalized. Then we have the average time, represents the average time taken to generate a block, right? Then we have the latest block, displays in the node visualizer the most recent validated block on the chain, showing its hash, right? Then we have the TPS, transaction per second, displaying the number of transactions processed per second on the network. Then we have the TPP, displaying the transaction per block, indicating an average number of transactions taking place per block, right? Now this is the globe view of it, right? You can view the node Australia Sydney that is being on our chain. Similarly, we have a list view which displays the node ID, the node name, the country in which the node is being hosted, the city, and the node IP. Now, last but not the least, we have the faucet, where in the faucet section, you can enter your wallet address and get the testnet funds to deploy the contracts on a chain, irrespective whether it's an NFT contract or a token contract. You can see the last transactions related to faucets. This is the transaction ID, the address, who has received the BDAC. This is the timestamp, how long the transaction earlier was being taking place, and this is the amount at who. And if I click on the detail page, this gives me the overview of that specific transaction, the block number on which the transaction was being confirmed, the status, time, timestamp, as well as the from and the true address. This is all we had from the Explorer side. Thank you so much.